Totes Recall.
Ooh, welcome to Totes Recall, the podcast where we talk about a movie that we don't remember very well. Then we eat 2 pizzas and 1 salad due to budget and advertising constraints.
Yep.
Watch that movie, come back, talk about things we liked, things we didn't like.
Things we observed.
Things we observed, things we didn't observe.
Things that we forgot.
Yes.
Things that we remember.
Yep.
Lessons learned.
Lessons not learned. All the things and their opposite.
Yes.
My name is Dan.
I'm Molly.
I'm also Dan.
And I'm Beth.
And our movie this episode is Gremlins 1.
Yes.
The original
Yes.
batch.
Yes. The first batch.
The first batch. Movie that came out in 1987. Jaquette's bets.
I feel like it was definitely the 80s, but I think it might have been a little earlier. I'm going to go 80. I'm between 85 and 86. I'm going to go 85 for fun.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when the Temple of Doom came out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is
movie.
This is PG. This is
This
PG-13.
movie and Temple of Doom are what's created PG-13, or at least what pushed them to create PG-13.
And how?
Yeah, because both those movies were not
R,
but they were still very gross and violent.
Oh, Molly's bets? This movie came out when I was younger than 13.
Okay.
Because my family was certainly caught unaware. I saw this movie when it first came out at the Plaza Theater in Atlanta, Georgia, with my entire family.
Nice.
And it was a family movie.
Yes, a family night out.
Yes. And I had seen, yes.
we should say this is our holiday episode.
Oh,
holidays.
That's why you went with your
Gremlin
family.
bells, gremlins all the time.
Spin that dreidel, light them candles.
All that other stuff. Hey!
We went to go see it together, and you'd seen the posters, and there's this adorable animal, and you could get stuffed animals in stores that were, I forget what the character's first name, the cute gremlin, the one that's not terrible.
Gizmo.
Wait, you mean the cute gremlin or the cute fuzzy thing?
Wait. Do they turn into the gremlin?
Yeah.
They start, the cute fuzzy thing, the pre-monster.
Yes.
And we watched the movie. I was expecting, and as you know, I'm an animal lover. I was expecting a very adorable story, and it was completely traumatizing. And in fact, I would never watch this movie again, except that we are watching it as friends. Yeah, and I'm curious.
For sacrificing yourself for our art.
Wow.
But it was violent and gross, and a terrible thing happens in a microwave. And there's an elderly lady on one of those seats that goes up and down stairs.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is horrifying.
I'm so excited to watch it.
So for me, this was a very unhappy experience, and I never watched another Gremlins movie, not even Gremlins 2, which I hear is hilarious.
So
The only other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not in any way anything like the first one, except that there are gremlins.
Yeah. So the previews only had "Don't feed them after midnight." Here's an adorable boy and his adorable.
Oh, they don't even
gizmo.
show the gremlins at all?
That's what I remember. Although now I have to go back and look at the ads.
Do you...
Before we get to more details, I want to ask Beth, who has not seen this movie.
It's a 3-1 episode.
3-1.
The old 3-1.
What, as someone who's never seen it, what do you know about this movie?
Here's my guess of what happens in this movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, now I know it's a Christmas movie.
Right.
So I think that the Gremlins are the toy of the year.
Ooh.
That all the kids are supposed to get, right?
No.
No? Okay.
No, I just think that sounds horrifying.
There's
Like an Elmo, like a
like
Tickle Me
Tickle
Elmo.
Like a Tickle Me Elmo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you get a gremlin. But there are rules with the gremlins.
Right.
You're not supposed to feed them after midnight, and they can't have water or something weird. And then, but of course, water is everywhere, and gremlins be eaten. So
I'm pretty sure that was a tagline on the poster.
Gremlins be everywhere.
Yeah.
No, water be everywhere. Gremlins
Gremlins be eaten, yeah.
so they break those rules, and then they turn into monsters and terrorize Christmas. Mm-hmm. And probably the kid who like gets the gremlin for Christmas needs to like figure out how to save the day. So he like turns the gremlins back into regular creatures or something, or like they explode somehow to like a green goo, like something very 80s looking.
Yeah.
That is what I know about the movie.
Awesome.
Cool.
You're sort of right in a general sense.
Yeah.
I'll say.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. Well, you know how movies work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the big thing is that the Gremlins. So the original Gizmo, as we talked about, is a Mogwai.
Yes, correct.
Whoa.
And he's the cute version. And then they turn into Gremlins when you feed them after midnight. Yeah, that's the feed after midnight.
Yeah.
And then what happens when you put water on them?
They multiply.
Oh, that's it.
With like pretty gross like boils appear on their skin, and then like another one pops out of it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like, well, it's funny because like what I always liked as a kid was how like the Gremlins and the Mogwais, like they have the same rules attached to them, but like they've reacted to them in like grotesque and cuter way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when a Mogwai gets wet, they still multiply, but it's like not. It's still creepy, but it's not as creepy.
Right.
Because like when a gremlin gets wet, it's all like goopy and like gross looking.
Yeah, because the Mogwais like look like Furbies.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the Gremlins look like evil Yoda.
Yes, correct. It's like it's like the bad kids at Yoda's high school or something.
Yeah.
Wait, to be clear, they are still the same creature?
I mean, they undergo metamorphosis.
Yeah.
I think they cocoon in eggs.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's like a
It's already disgusting.
yeah. There's like a cocoon phase.
Yeah.
Are Furbies based off of these animals?
God, I hope so.
They've gotta be. They look so similar, except for the
Beak.
forehead thing and the beak. I guess that's two things. Don't Furbies have like a forehead eyeball?
Well, they have a
What?
sensor on their
It's a sensor,
forehead
yeah.
so that they can react to children.
Okay.
But
But they look like owls with
yeah,
ears.
yeah,
Yeah. That's kind of what a Mogwai looks like.
yeah, sure,
It's like a teddy bear with big ears.
yeah.
With like
It's like
fox
Yoda's.
ears.
I feel like the main one is brown and white,
I think that's true.
That sounds right.
and it has like a spotted eye.
Oh,
Yeah. I think that's true.
Spotted eye.
Look at who knows all about
what's
this
a
movie.
wait? What is a spotted eye?
Like, when dogs have like a spot over there, like spots.
Oh, I thought you meant like the eyeball
spot
had
Oh,
like weird
no, I mean
dots
like,
on it.
It's
or
like
something.
color.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
gotcha.
And Gizmo, the original Mogwai, to the story anyway,
Yeah.
is bought as a present from a very problematic Chinese shopkeeper
Yes.
who is a giant stereotype
Yes.
by the dad, right?
I feel like that's
Who's like a
true.
weirdo inventor.
Correct.
He's like an inventor, but he invents like goofball dumb things.
He's an '80s inventor.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yes.
Yeah, is this-
He's like Honey.
Oh,
So
yeah.
far, this is a combination of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and Freaky Friday.
Oh, no.
I can't remember any of his inventions. Can you guys?
I remember one because it's a sight gag where he makes a smokeless ashtray,
Okay.
but it is very clearly like doesn't work because there's smoke coming out of it.
Oh, is it like it's like an ashtray attached to a dustbuster?
I can't remember. Like it's something where he offers it to someone as like a gift or as like an exchange of goods, and it is just like pouring out smoke.
Yeah.
So, Dan, can I ask you how you remember this movie so well? Like, when did you see it last?
Last, I don't know. It's been tens of years, probably.
Yeah, me too.
So you
Or
saw
at
it as
least
kids?
one 10-year. Yeah, I maybe saw it in like early high school, maybe.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think I've seen it a ton of times. But I remember really liking it.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of creepy and fantastical, but not like super scary. It's not like a
Is there a blender scene?
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's gross. There's a whole killing gremlins in a kitchen scene.
Oh, it's just
Yeah.
brutal,
With
right? It goes
different-
on for days.
With different things
Yeah.
that I'm always the Jumanji scene with the monkeys in the kitchen reminds me of.
Yeah.
But I don't think the monkeys get blended. We watched that movie like
Yeah, they
less
don't.
than a year
They just
ago.
hang out and break stuff.
Yeah. Because the gremlins get like
I'm 100% sure that the monkeys are not blended for that movie.
because the gremlins get blended, microwaved,
Cooked?
Maybe.
like ovened.
Do they explode into a green goo?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen this movie. I just guessed because of the 80s.
Yeah, and they're green.
What? Maybe there'll be a twist where it turns out you have seen it and you just didn't know.
No, I know.
An
I know.
opposite Molly.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to my dad yesterday, and I said that we were going to watch this movie, and he said, so the movie came out before I was born. So my dad was like, you probably never saw it because it's a movie that I never wanted to see again.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
because he was too scared? Or
Yeah, he thought it was
terrible?
too scary. No, I mean, he was, I don't know so if it came out in the 80s, he was like 30 something. He probably had no interest in watching it again.
Yeah, this is like a movie for 16-year-olds.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah, I never
Or like
wanted-
13-year-olds who can handle it.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no memory of when I watched it.
Yeah.
I've seen it a couple times, but I'm sure I saw...
Twice?
Yeah, probably.
Wow.
I've seen it
I think
at
it's
least
a good
twice.
movie.
What?
Ooh, we'll find out.
Oh.
Because I think it's one of those movies that kind of straddles the line. Like, it's not a straight-up monster horror movie.
No, it's a comedy in a lot of ways.
It's like an 80s teen comedy.
Yeah.
But also there's monsters, and the
Yeah.
monsters are kind of legit scary.
But they're also goofy.
Yeah. Like, there's a dumb one. So when Gizmo gets wet, somehow, a water fountain? I feel like there's a slow-mo drinking fountain shot. Dance bed, drinking fountain. Slow-mo. And he's like, no! And it lands on him, and then he, like, hides in a box and, like, grunts a bunch, and things pop out. And there's, like, Spike, who's the main evil one.
Yeah.
And then, like, a really dumb one with, like, eyeballs that gyrate like
I thought
crazy.
that was in the
It's
second
like
one.
Oh,
the
is that the second
Seven
one?
Dwarfs where they have their own personalities.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Like Sleepy and Grumpy and...
That happens more in the second one.
Oh.
Like in this one, there's like the one guy, the leader, who's got the stripe thing.
Yeah, and I think
but I
his
think
name's Spike.
Yeah, I don't remember. Or stripe.
Seems right.
And he's evil.
Yeah.
And wants to kill everybody. People die in this movie,
Oh,
right?
for
Oh,
sure.
yeah. That elderly lady is sunk.
Right. Because it's like a small... I want to say like Chicago suburb,
Yeah.
like a John Hughes.
Yeah.
Wow, what
style.
movie is this not?
Yeah. And they terrorize the town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems right.
Is
Is there
this,
a library scene?
did this come out like during the holidays?
I have no idea.
It's set during the holidays, which
Okay,
is why we're doing
but it's
it.
not like the Christmas romp. I don't
know.
Christmas romps.
I don't know how it was marketed.
It might have come out during Christmas because
I'm
sometimes
just
they'll do
I'm just
like horror
wondering if,
movies that
like,
are Christmas
people are
themed.
like, oh, this is gonna be a fun Christmas movie, and then they go to watch it, and it's like horrifying and violent.
You just described my life.
Did no one in your family notice on the poster that there was like a creepy demonic shadow behind Gizmo to like
come on.
indicate that they were gremlins? And the fact the movie was called Gremlins.
Well, a gremlin, prior to that, and to this day, actually, I would think of
Bugs
that
Bunny
car.
cartoon?
Yeah,
Oh.
no, the car, the gremlin car.
Yeah. What about Twilight Zone?
Oh, the gremlin on the plane?
Yeah.
Okay, that's legit. That also freaks me out. Saw that at a young age.
Yeah, that one really scared
I
me.
still- if
even
I-
as like a high school kid.
Oh, that
Oh.
costume is creepy.
Black
As
and white.
a
dude.
full-grown
I'm
adult,
getting shivers right now thinking about that weirdo thing on the wing of the plane.
how do you not, if you're sitting in a
Trying to make
window
it-
seat, not look out at the wing and just, like, make sure? I still do.
Yeah.
But only like at night, right? Because I feel like
Doesn't
during the
matter.
day you're just kind of like, well, whatever.
Like,
Oh, no,
it's a
I always
bird.
look.
I'd be freaked out if there was a bird on the wing of the plane too. 'Cause then I'd
Just sitting on a wing.
feel
I'm
I
like,
was
how
gonna-
is it holding
and
on?
it's like looking over. It's like I'm gonna jump.
I'm going to jump.
Is Sully up there?
Yeah. Oh, the Hudson River is nowhere near us, suckers.
Yeah. Boom. Suicide.
Oh. Oh, Suicide Duck sounds like the name of a movie that would have come out in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the main kid in this movie, the protagonist is like a high school kid who receives Gizmo.
Yeah.
And he's sweet on someone.
Yes.
He's got a love interest. Is
Correct.
maybe the bank teller? There is a bank scene.
I bet
Did
her
you
name
say
is
that?
Jenny.
You said library. Jenny?
Yeah.
Best bet.
That seems
Jenny.
like an 80s
Great
girlfriend
demographic.
name.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Would you say his parents in this movie are divorced?
Oh. I would say things are strained
Because of his
because
poor inventorship.
Dad is trying to become an inventor, but he's garbage at it.
Ooh.
And he's the only one he's the breadwinner.
Right.
Because the 80s women couldn't make money.
Yeah.
Unless they were powered business women and
Right.
then
They had shoulder pads.
Yeah.
had big shoulder pads. But then they didn't have kids. Like, you couldn't do both. Gross.
It's true. Murphy Brown didn't come out until the 90s.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
She didn't have a kid until like the later seasons.
Oof.
And she had it out of wedlock, right?
Oh, yes. That was the big deal.
It was
Yeah.
a big deal.
People were mad. What the hell?
If you were mad at Murphy Brown, tweet at us.
Yeah.
What with that?
Murph mad.
Murph man?
Yeah, what would that Murph mad?
Sure.
I'm sticking with it.
Yeah, tell us your experience.
What
Yeah.
with that Murphy frown?
Whoa!
Oh.
Pick one whether you are mad when it happened or just frowning a lot.
Yeah.
And then explain it.
So this so far is sounding like it's no chance it's going to pass the Bechdel Wallace.
Oh.
Probably not.
Yeah, I'd say probably not.
Unless Jenny has like a friend who's just like, oh my god, Jenny, what are you doing tonight? And then she doesn't say, I'm going over to this guy's house.
Oh, so no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I think, though, I agree it's not going to pass, but I think the girlfriend's, like, competent.
Oh, so this is like War Games. Another 80s
Which is a
movie.
good movie we should watch.
How
Yeah.
so?
The girlfriend is helpful in unraveling.
She definitely like holds her own against the monsters a couple times.
Yeah.
Mostly, I'm just trying to rack up as many 80s movies as this is referencing. Yes. I was trying to say referential, and that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Dan's bet, at one point, Jenny, we're calling her Jenny. Why not? At one point, Jenny, like, punts a gremlin across the room.
Oh.
And it's delightful.
Oh,
Are we going to find out that one
excited
of
to
these
see that.
actors is a child actor that was in a sitcom or something? Or these... Do we know anything about these actors?
I cannot name an
No,
actor in
I
this movie.
can't. No, I don't know. I'm pretty sure stereotype problematic will be recognizable because
Oh, yeah?
there were like 3 Asian men in all 80s movies.
He was probably
like.
also in Big Trouble in
Right,
China.
exactly. Like I feel like they just sort of were like, "Oh, get the guy,"
Yeah.
and they needed to cast problematic Asian character.
I bet the dad is recognizable.
Ooh, maybe.
He was probably, like, on some sitcom
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the 70s.
Yeah,
Probably Tom Hanks.
He's like a
You
television
think it's
actor.
Tom Hanks?
No. That was a hilarious joke.
Was
I'm
that a
sorry, Beth,
reference
what were
to-
you saying?
I said that it's probably a television actor.
Yeah.
Like, not movie famous.
Yeah,
Right?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this
I'll go
is
with that.
pre-Growing Pains, right? I feel like Growing Pains was later.
Which one is Growing Pains?
It's the one with Kirk Cameron
Oh,
and the dad. I feel like the dad could be a dad in this.
Thick? Was that the one Thick was on?
Yeah, Robin Thicke.
Alan Thicke.
Alan Thicke. Oh, Robin Thicke with that stupid Blurred Lines song.
Yeah.
What a
now,
jerk.
see, now you're not making 80s references. You're getting too topical.
Yeah.
Fine.
I remember that protagonist, we'll call him
Ben.
Ben. Great.
I don't know. I feel like that's like one of the 8 words that Gizmo says, though, right?
He does say bright light.
Oh.
Bright light.
Oh, yeah, they don't like light.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Oh, yeah, they hate light.
Yeah.
That's how they talk?
yeah.
That's how
Like
Gizmo
Mickey
talks.
Mouse?
Gizmo talks like Mickey Mouse.
Okay.
The Gremlins are creepy bat things.
Yeah.
Do they talk like creepy
I
bats?
don't know if they talk at all. They mostly just go like.
Yeah.
They make
I
like
think
weird
they're
monster noises.
They're kind of cartoonish, but also scary.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then in the second one, they are mostly cartoonish, still occasionally scary.
Anyway, Ben has a garbage car, and it's an important plot point that he can't get it started.
Oh, no.
Because it's cold. It's like too cold. Like I think we see it in the beginning. Like he can't get it started to go to work at the bank, and then it comes back because it's a well-crafted film with foreshadowing.
Yep.
It comes back when they have to run away from the gremlins.
Yep. Dan's bet: Jenny hates Christmas
Oh yeah,
because I
her
think she has like a
parents died.
horrifying story about like her dad dying. or
Yes,
something.
it's real dark.
Yeah, and I'm not going to talk about it because I
Yes.
don't want to ruin it.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
The movie sounds irredeemable.
Monologue.
Oh, were her parents killed by gremlins?
I don't think
No,
so.
I think
I
this
feel
is-
like this is the first time this town has ever seen
Yeah, because
Gremlins.
they're an ancient Chinese secret.
Yeah, or something.
They've been imported from the Orient.
Or whatever.
Oh, boy.
It's unclear.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, the little knick-knack shop is pretty crazy.
It's great. I mean, it's great in the way that, like, the 80s was incredibly racist and
Yeah.
nobody cared. It's just like, sure, Asian stuff.
Yeah. I don't remember how they defeat them. I think Gizmo at one point has an adorable bow and arrow.
That's the second one.
That's the second one?
Yep.
Oh.
Gizmo has a lot more agency in the second one.
Sure.
Because Gizmo is locked in the tower without any human help.
Oh, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Is Gizmo like Team Mogwai or whatever?
He's like the good one that doesn't trick Ben into... Like, they trick him into letting them eat. They, like, unplug his clock or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he's
That's
too
real.
dumb to know what happened, so then they eat. I don't know why I guess they're hungry, or they know they're going to turn gremlins.
Yeah, I feel like it's implied that it seems like the movie canon is all other Mogwais are evil.
Yeah.
Like, all of them want to be gremlins except Gizmo.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so Gizmo's like, no, I won't eat those crackers.
Yeah.
Because I know it's after midnight.
Right.
What was your question?
I honestly forgot.
I think I answered it, but I don't
Yeah.
remember.
That's right, I forgot.
Tweet at us.
Oh, yeah.
Hashtag, did Dan answer that question?
Did a Dan answer that?
Did Dan answer that?
Did a Dan.
Cute. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually I had forgotten until just now when you two, Molly and Dan, were talking about like how much of the movie they stay fuzzy. You know what I mean? Like, because they hang out for a while as just other Mogwais.
Yeah.
But they're mean.
What?
They're like mean versions of
They're
Mogwais.
like mischievous.
Yeah, and you're just like, oh, they're stinkers. But then they turn into monsters. Because in the second one, they just straight up become monsters in like 10 minutes.
And then they just run around and are monsters.
Yeah. And then turn into cartoon creatures and drink a bunch of science, and it's great. I saw the second one 1,000,000 times when I was a kid.
Oh, the question is how do they overcome the gremlin problem?
Oh,
There we go.
yeah.
Is it do they freeze easily?
Oh, it's like a shining moment at the end.
With something
Another
about
movie to jam on here.
like because it's like sunlight kills them, so it's some
that's
kind
right.
of
They're
light
also kind of
thing.
vampires.
I just want to say that any of these movies that we've mentioned, it's like I would prefer to watch over Gremlins.
This movie's
yeah.
gonna be great.
Yeah, it's
hope
gonna
so.
be great.
Yeah, they must like get them with sunlight.
Or something. They must trick them somehow.
Get them with sunlight.
Yeah.
I know in the second one they like trick him into thinking it's
Night.
night, and then they like pull a big sheet down.
Yeah.
and it's their sun.
Well, that's the original plan, but it doesn't go as planned.
Oh.
But then somebody is.
What, like spraying with gasoline or something.
They just turn the sprinklers on.
Yeah.
And then they get the gremlin that's made out of electricity out of the phone system and like weaponize him and shoot him at the other gremlins.
So that's right.
Guys, the second one is bonkers.
The second one's bonkers. It also ends on a sexual assault joke.
Yes.
Whoa.
Correct.
Everything I know about the second one, I learned from a Key and Peele sketch. So
Correct.
it's very funny.
And
That's
very
spot
accurate.
on.
Do you remember if there is anyone else in this town? Like, do we know this is the
There's
old lady?
an elderly.
But
yes.
Oh, great. People of
Elderly.
the town.
what?
Oh, don't call her an old lady.
Why?
That's disrespectful.
Is it?
I think so. You know, my sister used to live in Brooklyn, right down the street for right down the street from this building that had been built in the early 1900s and still had its original sign, carved into marble on top of it. And it said something like, "The Graham Home for Old Ladies."
That's good.
Yeah. So if it's
Was
like,
it the Graham inventor of the graham cracker?
oh,
My fun fact about the graham cracker. It was the cornerstone of Dr. Graham's diet to curb sexual appetites.
Really?
Oh,
Huh.
weird.
That is weird.
Isn't it? And now it's like a fun cracker that we eat all
Yeah,
the
I
time.
had no idea that it had medicinal purposes at some point. Anyway, I'm
well,
sorry.
it's not sexy.
You're saying a
It's
rock
the
sign
least- yeah.
made you decide that old is a bad word to
No,
use?
I'm just saying if it's not the 1920s, old lady is not kind.
Okay.
Isn't it? I don't know.
No, but you say elderly people.
I guess. I don't mean it.
Or retirees.
We don't know anything
Well,
about this one. We just know that
That's
she has
assuming
lived a
that
long time.
Retirees are elderly.
Yeah.
You know, she's probably like 45.
Yeah, she probably is. I mean, the actress is probably, like 45. They put a little
we'll
wig
use
on
the
it.
proper terms that is most comfortable for those of advanced years. So please tweet at us with your...
Yes, so that next time we have a movie with people who are older than 30.
Cocoon.
Hashtag, what would that term? Old term? No.
Nope.
Age term?
Age term.
Long age.
What would that big age term?
Big age term.
Yeah.
So a big aged woman is there.
Yes.
And then, but like, I feel like a bunch of the movie is just them like running through chaos. Like, there's a bunch of shots of like Jenny and Ben running through the town of like while the gremlins go nuts. But I just wonder, are there like a bunch of montage scenes of like other townspeople getting attacked by the gremlins?
I bet there's a nerd
Okay.
who gets picked on.
Sure.
Nerd.
By the gremlins?
Yeah.
There's like and I want to say like an uppity bank manager.
Okay.
Because I think Ben works at a bank.
Sure.
I bet there's a bunch of cool teens.
Okay. Like cooler than Ben, and they like make fun of Ben
they
too?
like wearing leather jackets or something.
They for sure bully Ben.
Yeah.
I bet like a
Are you writing all these down?
pretty blonde lady in a dress, like something weird happens with a gremlin or it goes like under her skirt or something.
Yeah.
That probably happens. It's an 80s movie.
I'm going to write gremlin upskirt.
And I'm going to say real estate agent. Just going to throw that
The blonde
out.
lady? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
This is probably too early for her to be a psychologist.
You're right. That was more of a 90s joke.
The 90s.
That was more of a 90s joke, as we've learned.
Or an aerobics instructor. That
There
would
you
be
go.
very
Sure.
80s.
Yeah. Do you want to double down on... Not double down. Come back to your library. You wondered if there was a library moment.
Yeah, I mean, that is a real... That's like one of those things you say when you're trying to do trivia and you have a gut instinct about something, but you don't have anything else to support it. And I don't feel that strongly about it.
Do you want to go hot or not on the librarian? There's two types of movie librarians.
I'm gonna go nuts.
Oh, no.
So, old, big age librarian. Then.
Big age librarian.
Like
yes.
from Indiana Jones.
Yes.
What?
When they're smashing the
Oh, right.
floor
the floor.
to get the rats.
Yeah. There's like the...
And she's like,
frowning.
Did my stamp, cancel
Right.
stamp, make that noise?
Yeah.
I'm dumb and old. Big
Right.
age, sorry.
Or like the... Or like the lady, the librarian in Ghostbusters.
Yes.
I can't remember. I think she is big aged as
She was...
well.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. These are good townsfolk. These are good townsfolk.
Yeah, these are excellent bets.
There's a guy in a red convertible.
Whoa,
It's Christmas time.
Is there a gas
I
station?
don't care.
Convenience store?
Probably, right?
Like a quick stop?
There's got to be at least one scene where the gremlins are just like tearing up boxes of snacks.
Or cash
right?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, they love eating snacks.
They love eating
Oh,
snacks.
they're like bad
Gremlins
moms.
Yeah, bad moms love snacks.
That's not an
Snacks, too.
80s reference.
Oh. That movie should be from the 80s. That should be banished forever. It's the
Just
worst
sent
movie.
to the 80s.
Yes.
Sent to the 80s.
Here, you'll enjoy this.
80s.
Take that, 80s.
What's this future movie?
Oh, how do I play this?
The CD's broken.
Yeah.
Throw it in the garbage.
How do I put this pizza plate into my VCR?
Probably just be a digital download.
Yeah. Well, then they wouldn't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah, look at this strange string of characters.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm torn. I have...
No, you're not. You've been...
Somebody was fed after midnight.
You have been against this movie from the moment we started recording.
I wouldn't necessarily say that, but just how many gremlin boils would you give this?
Gremlin boil. Like when they get it wet? That
Yeah.
thing? Oh, ooh.
Well, you can pick a different
No,
metric.
that's fine. It's disgusting and terrifying, just like the gremlins.
So that's a boil already on it's already on the gremlin then.
Yeah.
So, like, they are multiplying.
Not a Mogwai
They're in the
boil.
process of multiplying.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. Are you talking to me?
Yeah, how many?
Oh, I don't know. Let's go. I remember liking it, but I also remember only watching this one a couple times and watching the second one a million times. So I'm going to say 4,
What?
but assume maybe it's just a weird 80s movie. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, you're already against the fact that I'm showing anything resembling positivity towards this film. Just because you hated it as an 11-year-old or whatever. And Beth's dad hated it too, or whatever.
You thought it was unremarkable. It sounded like.
I guess there's a difference. There's a difference, yeah.
Yep. He told me it was no Back to the Future.
Oh,
Well, sure.
Right?
that's true.
Yeah.
Probably.
Ooh.
We'll find out.
Yes.
Beth?
I'm gonna give it a 2.
Whoa.
2 boils.
Because I'm going to be entertained by some aspects of it, because it's going to be ridiculous,
Yep.
but mostly I'm going to dislike it. That's my bet.
Nice.
I'm going to give it 4 as well. I think this movie is going to be a fun romp.
Christmas romp.
Christmas romp. It's going to be one of the good old Christmas romps.
Yeah.
With some good fantastical creatures.
Puppets.
And an interesting, they're Muppets, right?
Yeah.
Are
Jim
they
Henson's
Muppets?
late bet. Jim Henson is involved.
I'm sure the Henson Creature Shop made them. Who else would have made them in the 80s?
Yeah, no one else can do this.
No one else can do this.
And it's going to be an interesting blend of genres, which I find interesting, as I did with Ghost.
Yep.
Yeah, and I gotta be far away from Molly's rating.
Your presumed Molly's rating.
That's how the cast works. Molly?
I will give it a 1.
Oh, geez.
Wow, what a surprise.
And it will drop to a 0 if any animals get harmed in this movie.
Well,
Yeah.
Good.
And I feel like there's a scene where you feel so sad for Gizmo.
Yeah.
there's like half the movie you feel sad for
Big
Gizmo.
adorable eyes.
Oh, this movie's terrible. Why are we...
Here's a follow-up. Do you count Mogwais as animals?
Great question.
Yes, but I'm more concerned about cats and dogs.
Okay.
Do you count
And Gizmo.
Gremlins as animals?
No.
Okay.
They are monsters.
Well,
And I also know what happens to them, and it's grotesque.
some cultures would think of some animals as monsters. Many of our mythological creatures that we have come to know were formed from man and woman misunderstanding real creatures of this great planet and our diverse ecosystem.
I'm not going to give it a 2.
I'm not saying you have to get a 2. I'm just saying if you're going to be hypocritical about which monsters get blended and microwaved.
Some might say the biggest monster is man.
Yes. Yes. Yes, I hope that's the moral of this movie.
It's the moral of every movie.
It will not be the moral of this movie. They are terrible creatures.
Yeah.
And with that, we're going to hit pause and go watch Gremlins, the first one, with the first batch.
Yep.
And we'll be right back. And we're back. That was 1 hour and 45 minutes of producer Steven Spielberg messing with 9-year-old Molly Chase's head.
Yeah.
Or Gremlins, whatever.
Yeah.
Gremlins, yeah.
I mean, it was probably mostly the director, right?
Joe
Chris
Dante.
Columbus.
Joe Dante. I have no idea what he actually sounds like. He might sound
Chris
like
Columbus was the writer
Yeah.
That's right.
of
this.
This movie.
Home Alone.
Home Alone.
but not Total Recall 2012.
Is that a guess?
We bet that, right? I think that
We
I
did.
believe that was our off-the-wall bet of who wrote that
Oh,
movie.
that's
I think
amazing.
it was. But he, of course, directed the first Harry Potter movie.
Okay. Great.
Yeah. But Joe Dante.
I don't know if that's actually what he sounds like. Let's say it is.
With a name like that.
Totally sounds
Hey, it's me,
Joe
Joe Dante.
Make a Christmas carol.
What if these puppets came out and were crazy?
Yeah.
Get those crazy puppets out here.
Do a 20-minute scene in a bar with homages to every movie I've ever seen.
Hey, you know what? What if the gremlin had 3 cigarettes?
Hey,
I was afraid of fire.
there's too many. Wear the hats. Put some hats on them gremlins.
Get that leather hat, put it on him.
Oh, you know, it'd be funny if I put my sunglasses on this one.
Oh, and make him a flasher.
Hey, what if we got some of these popcorn buckets and made those hats too? I'm Joe Dante.
Joe Dante, I do Gremlins.
God, I hope that's how he introduced himself now. To this day. What's up? I'm Joe Dante. I do Gremlins. And Gremlins 2, the new band.
The new batch me, Joe Dante.
You heard of it? They wear glasses in that one too, but one of them's smart and he wears regular clear lens glasses.
He's a scientist.
Because he drank a bunch of potions like science. Okay. Now we're going into the second one too much. Spoilers for anyone who's trying to watch these in order with us.
Yeah.
Okay.
The original Gremlins, this movie, came out in 1984.
The year of my birth.
Molly was close, only a year off.
You're off.
Boom.
Which means I was 8 or 9
Ooh, yeah, that'd
years
be
old.
rough.
So you were right with your less than 13.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
definitely less than 13.
Yeah, I can see how this would be rough.
I mean, it is, and you know, I honestly have nightmares based on 2 things. One of them is homeless animals that have multiplied and they all need homes.
Oh, like the
gremlin-
burden of
yes,
responsibility.
yes.
Oh, like when the first multipliers, when Gizmo first multiplies, and he's got an attic full of
Yes.
wine? Yeah.
That's
And-
such a perfect fear for you.
Yeah, it is.
To be burdened
Yeah,
by
it is.
responsibility as a child.
Yep. How am I going to provide for all these creatures?
No, I mean, that is like a straight line into my major anxieties. Also, like, how do you keep order when you're a bartender and all those gremlins are at your bar?
Is that the other nightmare you have?
Yeah, no, the other one is boils. Like, lots of stuff on the skin. So I'm going to just blame everything on this movie.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
This has all of those.
Ooh, it's got it all.
My first note, though, because it opens like we didn't know the dad was the narrator.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that's a weird
It was-
mechanic.
That was weird.
It was like I think they were trying to make an homage to every movie they ever loved, and so they
Yeah.
had like this film noir piece.
Yeah.
But the first thing I wrote down was, "Forget it, Dad. It's Chinatown."
Yeah, because it opens, as we guessed, in Chinatown, like somewhere. New York?
Sure.
I don't know. The
doesn't
kid's wearing
specify.
a Yankees hat, but that's like a generic hat.
Yeah.
Like even outside of New York.
Right.
So who knows? Shapeless. We don't even know where the town of Kingston Falls is.
No.
So I don't know if it's a Chicago suburb or not. Because I was guessing it was John Hughes.
Well, right.
But let's go over Beth's bets.
Oh, yeah.
Gremlins being the toy of the year.
I would say toy of the year.
I mean, for that one family.
For that localized. Sure, nailed it.
Oh, they do call it a pet, which is more responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's rules with the Gremlins about midnight and water. Nailed it. They turn into monsters. Essentially.
They did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kid saves the day. Yeah.
No.
Gizmo kind of saved
Gizmo
the day.
saved the day.
I mean,
He saved the day with the other ones, I guess.
he blew up like 1,000
Yeah,
of
that's true.
them.
He stopped the
that's true.
horde,
Yeah.
but then Gizmo stopped Patient Zero.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Team
Wait,
effort.
Gizmo is patient.
Oh, right. Shit.
Patient one.
Patient one.
Yeah.
Or it could be it could be like 2 through 4, right? Or 1 through 4.
Oh, yeah, I guess you don't see who Stripe is if he's like the
We don't
first
know
one
for
that pops
sure
out.
if Stripe is the first one that pops out.
Yeah.
Well, he's the leader, so
Right,
I
sure.
think we can pretty much assume he's the oldest.
Oh, because of birth order?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
there
Sure.
you have it.
Sure.
Okay.
Psychology.
Yep.
And exploding with green goo. Yep.
Nailed it.
Oh, so hard.
There was so much green goo.
So much green goo.
Really well done.
Thank you.
Good job, Beth.
Good
Thank
job.
you.
Good job.
And I would like to say we took a second look at the poster, and I think Dan Linden, you agreed with me that it is in fact misleading.
Well, the poster that I was thinking of the other poster, but there's apparently two.
Yeah.
And the one that was probably around
Was just
when
an adorable
was like
present
little
with a
gizmo
cute
hands coming
little
out of the box.
gizmo
Yeah.
hands.
There's some like
Oh, he's so
threatening lighting though, right? You'd agree that it was sort of like right? There's at least some. You said there was mystery.
Okay, the plaza only shows one movie. Okay.
Okay.
So if you go to the plaza and it says it's playing Gremlins,
And there's adorable hands.
has adorable hands,
Yeah,
you
okay,
assume
fair
it's
enough.
appropriate.
So you weren't going to see Gremlins. You were seeing
The movie.
that was playing.
I
and
guess
it happened
so.
to be Gremlins.
I mean, I was too young to make these decisions.
Right.
Yeah.
This is really...
But I do feel like it was a family movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But was your dad too busy inventing things to really pay attention to what movie was out there? I wrote down a bunch of them.
Please.
He is an inventor, as
Yes.
we talked about. The smokeless ashtray is in there,
Yeah.
Nailed it.
which doesn't work at all,
Doesn't seem to.
right? I mean, nothing works. That's the thing,
Yeah.
right? He's got an egg thing that's like a bunch of eggs in a carousel, sort of, and then like a hammer that hits them. It's supposed to
Shaped
break
like a
it
chicken
open.
head.
Yeah.
And his family is heartbreaking in that they go like every time they approach one of his inventions,
Yeah.
they look at it. There's this moment of like, damn it, it's not going to work again, but we have to humor him even though he's not here.
Yeah.
And then they use it, and it's a disaster
Yeah.
every single time.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's like a juicer that shoots juice everywhere. There's a coffee machine that makes black sludge.
Sludge.
There's a thing to answer your phone that makes no sense whatsoever.
I think it was like an attempt at wireless phone.
Right.
But it just doesn't work. Because
It's
you
like
had like a weird like walkie-talkie.
Yeah, it's like a walkie-talkie hooked up to your phone that also answers it. Because she tried to talk into the walkie-talkie
Yeah.
piece.
And it didn't work.
I did like that they included in the script that the inventions worked for the first 2 weeks.
Right.
And then they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That poor wife.
Oh my god.
She was the best, though.
She was great.
Yeah.
MVP.
I wrote down, I loved how most of his inventions were designed in such a way where, like, obviously they weren't designed to, but just, like, the way they were designed, they all allowed for violently spraying something, whether it be shaving cream or playing cards, even. He had, like, some sort of, like, card shuffler thing that just started, like, shooting cards
Yeah,
out at
I
a
think it was
rapid
like an
pace.
auto dealer.
Or something.
Yeah.
I felt like it was a prototype character for Tim the Tool Man,
Just-
the 90s TV show.
Yeah, Tim Allen.
Home Improvement.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's like a prototype.
Does he invent stuff? I thought he just like tried to.
Just like
No, he soups everything up. He's like, you can take this regular leaf blower and make it.
Sure.
My wife is such a bee.
Hey, Wilson,
say
I
that?
don't understand my wife. Here's some vague advice.
Yeah.
Interpret it poorly.
Yeah. Oh, Dad, I'm one of your dumb kids that was for some reason very popular with girls my age.
Yeah. I'm the older kid in Fast 4.
For some reason.
Gonna be in Tokyo Drift.
You team JTT?
Oh,
Yeah.
were you?
Team JTT?
But older
What?
kid, you're like, forget about it.
Yeah, he's too old.
He had a mullet, too, I think.
he
At
was
some
awkward.
point, he had a mullet, yeah.
Yeah, JTT was the voice of Simba.
True.
Yeah.
The Lion King.
Young Simba.
Very
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why you were into him?
Come on.
Because he
Yeah.
was the voice of a
He was
lion?
a baby lion?
Yeah.
Oh.
Tiger beat.
No.
Lion beat.
Baby Tiger Beat. Nope.
God.
You got it. That was better. Howie Mandel was the voice of Gizmo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is adorable.
Yes.
So cute.
A little
Cute.
clunky, the Muppets in this.
Yes.
I kind of expected them to hold up for whatever reason, but they were like 84
But they
Muppets.
were so ambitious. Like those
Yeah.
facial expressions were very
Yeah.
nuanced.
They looked like as a still, they looked great.
Yeah.
But when they moved, it was like,
Yeah.
oh,
I
okay.
think they do a thing where they like speed it up and it just looks like unnatural.
Yeah, maybe.
Especially for the Gremlin puppets.
Yeah.
They were sped up in a way, so it just seemed like stilted in a weird way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like where they're all marching down the street like Thriller,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
but it's like super. I don't know. I guess it's not CGI. What is it?
Probably like claymation.
motion.
Maybe, or stop motion. Yeah.
There were so many of them.
Yeah, the Horde.
Yeah.
But the Mogwais, I connected with the Mogwais in a weird way that I did not, for sure, when I was younger.
I'm listening.
Yep.
Because they struck me as the combination of like a toddler and a kitten.
Ah.
And I have a toddler now,
Yeah.
and I have cats as
Yeah,
well. But it
yes.
was like because they can sort of speak,
Right.
like our 1-year-old like can sort of speak, not as well as Gizmo,
Sure.
yet. But like they know some words, and they're sentient. This was one of the things I wrote down. It was like, oh shit, the Mogwais and Gremlins are like sentient. They're not pets.
Yeah.
And so it made it harder to watch them get like worked on, like when they drew blood. It was like,
Oh, sure.
that's like a little baby human, and you
Right.
keep it in a cage,
Right.
but it's like a cute cat human.
Yeah.
And I felt bad. I felt bad for the Mogwais the whole time.
Like E.T.
Even the evil ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, a little less so.
Sure.
I guess once they turned into gremlins, they were
Sure.
evil.
Right.
Oh, but it was like E.T., right? Okay.
Yeah.
Go with me here.
Okay, I am.
Sure.
Because E.T. like wanders around the house, like especially after he's had that beer, like a little drunk
E.T. has
child.
a beer?
Yeah.
He
I
has
barely
a beer,
remember that movie.
and he like putters around the house, like he toddles around the house and,
then-
like runs into the refrigerator door and stuff.
And then Elliot gets like linked up drunk at school and kisses that girl, and that's the frog stuff, right?
What?
Because they're like, after E.T. heals him,
Yeah,
then they're
they're
like connected.
linked.
Wow.
And so
Yeah, I
they
do
get
not.
like empathy
Oh,
drunk.
right. Oh, yeah. Well, anyway,
Yeah,
we
Chris
know
like
for
kisses that
sure
girl.
that Gremlins came out after E.T. because they reference E.T. during the film, during a department store scene at the very end,
Yeah.
where it's like you are have a camera panning down the aisle of all of these toys, which, by the way, was like a who's who of my childhood and
Yeah.
very freaky to watch. And then there's an E.T.
Friday.
doll that I had because it was good in theory, but really gross. I think they learned. I guess okay, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, it was like
But
that.
anyway.
It was kind of pleather.
They were
almost.
like pleather and gross, like a hairless cat or
Yeah.
something. And they were. I remember wanting one and having one and regretting it immediately because it creeped me out. But I didn't want to seem ungrateful.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, as they pan through this who's who of animals, they come across an ET, and then the gremlin shoots out from behind it.
Yeah.
But to me, I was like, oh, they figured out that they need an adorable thing to put on the market. An adorable fuzzy thing. You can't have like a naked, hairless cat alien.
Yeah.
right.
I mean, you can, but you can't market it as
That
effectively.
apparently, I was reading about. I was trying to figure out who did the puppets
Ah.
because, like, it wasn't Jim Henson. But I was
Yeah.
trying to figure out for sure that it was not Jim Henson, and it's not. It was some dude. But in reading up on the production of this, apparently, like in the original, much darker script that I was talking to Beth about, where a bunch of more people get killed, including the dog.
No!
The original draft, Gizmo turns into Stripe. And he was supposed to just be evil once he turned into a gremlin. But Spielberg was like, this thing is adorable. We have to keep it through the whole movie.
Yeah.
Because he knows how to make that paper.
Merchandising.
Wow.
And probably because he learned those lessons from the E.T. dolls.
Yeah,
he was like,
like,
we
how do
need
you
this
make it
adorable
cute?
fuzzy thing to be good and marketable.
Move some units.
Yeah.
That's right.
Bet he wasn't selling a lot of sharks after Jaws. Plush sharks.
But the captain dolls were
Oh, I
flying
bet they were
off the
flying off the shelves.
shelves.
Absolutely. Oh, and
And
the mayor.
detachable legs.
And the mayor with the, like,
Made that noise.
anchor
Yeah.
blazer.
He pulled a little string and he says, here's to swimming with bow-legged women.
Is that what he says?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Which I didn't get when I watched it as a kid. Oh, it's like, let's go find some loose women.
Yep.
Ooh.
That's his, like, thing.
Yep.
Anyway, he's a sea captain. What do you want?
Yeah,
He's a
come
rough
on.
sea captain, everybody.
His life is
Yeah,
loving
but
the
that-
lady is the sea.
Yeah.
And lady.
Yeah.
That's a song. Look it up.
Yeah.
All right.
Jolene. The drinking fountain I was thinking of.
It's not so sad.
The drinking fountain I was thinking of has got to be in number 2.
Yeah,
because
maybe.
There's a regular fountain.
There's a regular fountain, but
Two.
the
No, just one. Never
the gremlin, the first gremlin water,
Yeah.
is his like paintbrushes.
Well, yeah, it's his
Yeah.
dumb friend Corey Feldman knocking
Oh,
over
The
a
dummy.
Corey
paintbrush glass.
Because Ben,
Okay, also, can I ask a question real quick?
Yep.
Why are they friends?
Unclear.
Okay.
Oh, no, he delivered the Christmas tree.
And then he's like,
Can
on
I
and
hang out?
yeah,
I
he's
guess.
the annoying kid
I'm
that
clearly
doesn't.
like 12 and you're like 25.
I guess Billy's just nice.
Okay.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
like,
Ben's
yeah.
name is Billy in
Yeah.
this movie, and Jenny's name is Kate.
Yes.
Yep. Oh, and boy, howdy, does she have a good reason for not liking Christmas.
Love it.
Yeah, her dad dies. Like deep into the movie, she
Like,
tells this
yeah.
crazy dark story
Oh, it's
about why she
amazing.
hates Christmas because Ben doesn't understand. He's like, "Well, how could you hate Christmas?
Everybody looks quick. Yeah,
Christmas."
earlier when he's going to ask her out,
Yeah.
the dummy is just like, oh, it's fun and everyone's having a good time and
What are you, Hindu?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
80s, amazing.
But her story is that Christmas Eve, the dad disappears and they can't find him for days.
like a week.
For like a week, and then she's making a fire,
And there's a smell.
and there's a smell, and turns out Dad tried to climb down the chimney but broke his neck and was just rotting in the chimney.
Dressed in a Santa Claus
With his
outfit.
arm full of presents.
Yeah.
And the last line of it is, that's how I found out there's no such thing as Santa Claus.
Oh, it's so...
Again, I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That story is so much darker than the rest of the movie.
Yes, I love it. I love how it just comes out of nowhere, too. It's just like, oh, and then it goes back to like, wah, 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 wah.
I want to point out, though, that Gizmo is a much better listener
Then
than
Billy,
Ben
for
or
sure.
Billy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Billy's like, just, like, that actor played it real cool for
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I was going to
everything.
say, I think he's a much better actor.
Yeah, I wrote down at the beginning, of the movie, before things got really nuts, I wrote down that Barney the dog is the best actor in this movie. Because that dog was amazing.
Yes, the
Wasn't
facial
it?
expression.
The way that dog interacted with the puppet, the way that dog interacted to the dad, saying like, "These are going to replace dogs someday." He was like, he did a classic like '80s dog.
He had like independent
Oh,
movie
good.
eyebrows.
Oh my god, that dog is
Yeah,
incredible.
Barney the dog.
Yeah, the kid and the
Crushed
dad
it.
kind of sucked actor-wise. The mom was awesome.
She was incredible.
Because she had this great, like, 80s mom, like, oh, I'm just supporting my dumb inventor thing. But then once shit got real,
Yeah.
she was wielding knives and using folding tables as shields and blending gremlins.
Can you imagine, though? Because when I was watching that, I was thinking about how much I dread smushing a centipede or a cockroach.
Yeah.
And especially when, like, that liquid comes out and the sound of it.
Ugh.
They are kind of bug-like.
Yeah. And to think about going after things that are, like, 2
That big.
feet in
Yeah.
diameter with claws going after you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that I'd be able to walk into the kitchen with a knife. I think I would just bug the hell out.
Yeah, she goes to it. She's not like, she hears him popping upstairs
Yeah.
while she's making gingerbread cookies.
Yeah. With a very sharp
Giant
knife
knife.
for some
Huge
reason.
steak knife.
Who knows why she was using it?
Yeah.
Ooh, I have a theory. Can
Okay.
I? Okay.
Go ahead.
the reason she's using a giant knife is because the closest thing she has to cut cookies other than that is one of her husband's cookie cutting machines.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's finally had it.
So she's hand
Carving it with an
Carving out
incredibly sharp knife.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
But instead of being like, F this, I'm getting out of here, or like calling a man to come solve her problem, she grabs a giant knife and heads upstairs and straight up like stabs one in the chest.
Oh, man.
Blends one in the grinder.
Throws one in the microwave.
Oh,
Like,
that still
flea
freaks
sprays
me
one
out.
in the microwave. Yeah.
Oh, so good.
What? That might
She
be it.
fights the one to the death that's in the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
Did she ever use the sword?
Billy uses the sword.
Billy uses the sword.
Billy decapitated Christmas tree gremlin.
He comes in and gets the last one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then
Because
they
it makes such a big deal of that sword at the beginning.
foreshadow.
And then I love though, like that whole sequence though. It did just point out that was a great little summary of how like they're very dangerous and violent, but they're also just dicks. Because like after they kill all the other gremlins, Stripe is at the window, already ready to escape, but first takes the time to blow his nose into their very nice drapes and then get out of there.
Yeah. It is a weird, I don't know, trait of them that they're like murderers, but also like scamps.
Yeah, like that.
Is that like Dexter?
What?
Never mind. Go ahead.
Dexter is blowing his nose in people's curtains.
Yeah, he's such a
don't
scamp.
know. I've
He's
never
such a scamp in that show.
I just assume that's how it goes.
Oh God.
He's like just causing mischief.
Yeah. The whole part when she first is going through the house, when she first hears the gremlin making noise and is like holding the knife, like it was this moment where, and that sort of like I felt like was summed up the whole movie, where like the movie like follows a lot of like very conventional horror tropes, and it does it really well. But at the same time, they're still like wacky puppets, you know?
Yeah, I agree. It's great. The car can't start at the beginning. Nailed it. And then again, can't start later. An important plot device.
And the car not starting introduced us to our classic grumpy American man.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you gotta get them American cars and American blah blah blah.
He hates everything for him.
Everything.
To the point where it seems like he's drunk as hell at the bar.
Yeah.
And almost drives home drunk, but he's like rambling and mumbling about how there's foreign parts in his car. Like that seems like he just found out, and that's why he's getting blackout drunk. Yeah, because he found like a foreign spark plug in his snowplow.
Yeah.
And then later he accuses, like he sees the gremlins bust through his house in his snowplow because they're just causing havoc.
Yeah.
And he seems to think they're foreigners in some way. It's not like super explicit.
Well, in his drunk rantings, he's just like, the gremlins got into our planes during the big one. World War II, those foreign gremlins, they got into our plane. Like, it's this very weird turn. Because, like, I even asked at the time, like, how old is this guy supposed to even be? Because it wasn't clear in that moment, like, is he supposed to have been in the war? Or he just read up on it?
Yeah. Because, go ahead.
Yeah, well, because I sort of thought that he was like the ghost of Christmas past.
Ooh.
Because he was very past-oriented in the good old days and Made in America. And then the next scene is Ben/Billy at the bar with his boss-ish or colleague at the bank, Judge
Vice
Nelson.
President.
Right. Judge Reinhold.
Judge Reinhold. I don't know who Judge Nelson is.
Judd Nelson?
Judd Nelson,
Yeah.
who's that?
He's
He's
one
an
of the
actor.
Brat
Breakfast
Pack.
Club.
Oh, yeah, no, not him.
Nostrils.
So, Judge
Reinhold?
Anyway, and he's talking about his future,
Yeah.
right? So I thought it was like maybe Christmas past, Christmas future, but then I couldn't figure out who Christmas present was unless that was Jenny/Kate.
Ooh, maybe...
Is Christmas present also Jacob Marley?
no.
He's future?
No, Jacob Marley's
he's
like
just
the...
like,
Jacob
you're gonna
Marley's...
be haunted
Yeah, he's like the
today.
Silver
Doesn't he-
Surfer of the other three ghosts.
Doesn't he also play a ghost, like in
Yeah.
most productions of
Yeah,
it?
he
So
is
which-
a ghost,
He's a
but he's
ghost.
not one of the three ghosts.
I thought he did one of them also.
No.
Well,
Does he do
you mean
that-
the actor?
Yeah.
I don't
How
know.
about in Scrooged? Does he reprise one of the...
I have no idea.
Tweet at us.
Yeah.
If you think Jacob Marley also generally plays one of the ghosts. Hashtag, which damn Jacob Ghost.
Really?
I I wish our listeners at home
Ever
could...
engaged with us in social media? They do. I'm sorry. Some of you
Some of you do, and we love you for it.
Yes.
I wish you could see the honest-to-God light bulb that happens over either of the Dans when it occurs to them to go, oh, hashtag, whatever it is. It is genuine new inspiration each and every time.
It's a fun game we play.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Ghost of Christmas Present.
I feel like
Barney.
the dog. I feel like there was this weird, and then at the end when ancient Chinese actor man basically spelled it out for us, like I do sort of feel like there was this very overt commentary about like the American culture of the 80s because it was like, foreign everything is terrible, blah. And then there was like, I'm this property barren woman who loves money and hates poor people. And then Judge Reinhold was like, I'm a vice president at 23, 25. I'm going to be head of the bank. And at 30, I'm going to be a millionaire. It was like this very like undertone of just like the grotesqueries of Reagan America or something.
Yeah, you got the shopping mall.
Yeah.
He doesn't get his comeuppance.
Yeah, what happened to Judge Reinhold?
He just like is a jerk and then leaves.
Do you think he got cut out of the end of the movie?
Yeah, he seems like he should get
Like more, yeah.
Because he also creeps on Jenny.
Oh, creeps so hard.
Like, hey, you haven't seen my new apartment. She comes back, well, I haven't seen your old apartment, but she shouldn't have to deal with that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Especially while working.
And his response to that, though, was like, we're talking cable. That is his new pitch.
We're talking cable.
That's his new pitch to come to his apartment. I have cable.
Yeah.
Oof.
It is 1984. That's probably pretty cool.
So then the lady who's at the bank who's really mean is
Deagle.
basically the
Deagle.
Scrooge.
Deagle. She is Scrooge.
Yes.
Oh, except Scrooge is the one that gets saved.
She's Mr. Potter from It's a Wonderful Life,
Okay, perfect.
which they also show a scene from.
Yes.
To make it explicit.
Yes. So she's also the lady of many years. What do we call it?
Big Age.
Big Age.
Big Age. She's
I guess.
the Big Age lady.
That was confusing. I thought those were
She's
two
the
different
one that
characters.
takes the staircase chair.
Yeah.
Is that her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be.
It's her.
Okay. Well, and what confuses me is she's so kind to her cats.
Yes.
And that really created some conflict with me.
And I'm also thinking, okay, in the scene where she's at the bank and like in public, is she wearing a wig?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
think
she had
so.
like red
Is that
hair.
yeah,
right?
I don't remember her having gray hair.
She must have been wearing a wig.
I think
So
it's
it was
vanity.
like she's like a mean lady, and then you show her back at home, and she's like an older woman with a bunch of cats.
I guess.
Yeah.
That was confusing.
It was like a character nuance that was confusing, and particularly at the moment right before she's going to die a horrific, terrifying death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of being sped up like way more many stairs than were possibly in a 2-story home.
Yeah, like it went on for a while.
And then shot out the window like Lethal Weapon with what's his name on the toilet and landing outdoors, and she's just instantly dead, you assume, because she has a bad heart.
And I think when she lands, it's another homage to The Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
She's also a very wicked witch character. It talks about getting
With
your little
the-
dog, and then her two legs stick straight
Right.
up, just like the stockings.
Oh, so this is like a movie collage.
It is. And it's like they're overt and the other one that's not overt.
Covert?
Subtle? Overt sounds right. Anyway, sometimes it's like they literally are watching an old movie.
Yeah.
Like one of the characters is watching a movie.
Yeah.
And other times it's
More like,
referential.
Yeah.
right.
So, but then what happens to the lady that needed 2 more weeks?
I don't know.
Is she fine now? Because
The
Deagle's dead?
mom?
No,
Miss Harris.
Miss Harris.
Who gets us our Bechdel
Who
Wallace.
gets us our Bechdel Wallace.
Boom.
Early
Bam.
on.
Very
Nice.
early on, within the first 10 minutes
Yeah,
of
that
the
was
movie.
surprising.
And
It was
then they're
incredible.
like, check, 2 ladies talk to each other.
Done.
Let's move on to the rest of this crazy.
Hey, I'm Joe Dante. We got the ladies to talk. Bring on the puppets.
Yeah, I respect women. You think Joe Dante doesn't respect women?
You say Joe Dante can't do the minimum requirements for movies feminism?
All right, let's get the mean lady to talk to the poor lady. Give them names. Move on.
Now throw that lady in the chair and catapult her out a window.
And another lady we'll never hear from again.
She's probably with Judge Reinhold, right? She's at the new apartment.
Oh, checking out
she's
cable.
like, look at this
married.
cable.
Well,
And then-
maybe he made an indecent proposal.
Maybe.
Oh.
Like enough money
In
to
5
pay.
years, I'll be a millionaire, and
Right.
I'll pay you then.
You come over and watch cable with me, I'll give you $10,000.
I make that every year because I'm a vice president of a local bank.
Yeah, that guy needs to be put in his place. He's not a big deal.
That was weird. I didn't even consider that. Like, yeah, he was totally set up to be like one of the people that got screwed over by the Gremlins, and he just never showed up again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because he was
He
worse
must have been cut out.
Yeah.
Because he was worse than the head of the bank.
Yeah, the head of the bank just seemed like he was.
But that guy didn't get anything either, right?
He was
kinda
a
just weak,
pushover.
right? Yeah, he was just kind
He
of.
was scared of Deagle.
Nothing even happens at the bank.
No.
There's not like a bank destruction scene, right?
It's already abandoned because that's where the terrible Santa story.
It seems like a
happens.
missed opportunity
Oh.
for some homage to a movie with money or like a bank heist with a bunch of gremlins like
Yeah, like
cracking a safe
stealing
or
money.
something.
Yeah.
Well, they had that
Yeah.
one gremlin with like a mask over his face
Yeah,
with
yeah.
a little handgun.
Bunker.
Oh, and a little tiny gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little tiny
weird.
guns are so
Oh,
good.
God. And a poker scene.
Yeah. Speaking of the people in the town,
Yeah.
here's what we bet for people in the town.
Oh yeah.
Big age lady. Yep.
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 A nerd.
Okay,
Corey Feldman?
can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I thought that most of this movie would take place during the day.
Okay.
In which case, people would be outside on the streets interacting.
Yeah.
But because it's at nighttime, everybody's in their houses.
Right.
So a lot of my guesses would have been different had I guessed it was at
And
night.
then all vampires.
Night nerd.
Billy was the nerd, right? Or Feldman. I guess Feldman was the nerd.
Film, yeah, not
He's just
really.
a
He's
kid.
just kind of a dorky kid.
But he's dressed
Ben's
as a Christmas
comic book
tree.
guy. That's because his dad makes him do it.
Yeah.
Oh, the comic books. That's why he had the water out.
Yeah.
Oh, because he's an
I get
illustrator.
To do his little paints,
Oh.
those little sketches.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a nerd.
No.
No, I guess not. Okay, moving on.
Unless the science teacher, who also gets brutally murdered
Oh,
for no
yeah.
reason.
I would love to talk about him, but we'll
Okay,
get
yeah.
there.
Uppity bank manager. No, he's kind of a weak guy. He's
Yeah.
not really vision. I
I
mean,
mean,
Judge
he's-
Reinhold's pretty close to what I was
Yeah.
thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that counts,
seems
right?
uppity.
He's vice president. That's
Sure.
Junior
management.
vice president.
He's gonna run the bank by
but
25.
this is not like a big paying job. Anyway, go ahead.
Cool teens who bully Ben. No.
Not really.
I mean, Judge Reinhold, again, is kind of a, like,
The closest to it.
yeah,
Yeah.
like a bully. But he's, like, too old to be bullying
Yeah.
him.
He
Yeah.
explicitly
It's more
says
just kinda
he's
like a
23.
sad- yeah.
And they go
Yeah.
out for beer, so.
I think he just like followed him there so he could mac on Jenny.
Yeah.
Ew.
Okay.
Kate.
I think his main idea was to bully Ben,
Yeah.
and then he's just like, well, hey, who's this piece?
Yeah.
Ew.
I'm playing
But
the
they work
character of
together.
Judge Reinhold.
They work together.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
knows that piece.
Yeah. I'll tell him about my cable. He might have been rehearsing that now that I think about it. Like, I'm going to the bar. I got cable now.
No, that's
I'll
like
seal the steal.
So first I'll make fun of Billy.
Yeah.
To show that I'm tough and cool.
Yeah, I'm an alpha male.
Then I'll mention my cable.
No. Then I'll mention my apartment.
Mention my apartment. And then if that doesn't work, bring out the cable.
Bring in the cable, seal the deal.
And if that doesn't work, tater tots.
Like buy tater
I
tots?
assume. I don't know, guys.
For
I was
himself?
I didn't want it to end.
The Judge Reinhold scene?
Yes.
I guess then his plan was like, and then I'm going to walk up the set of this movie.
Into Beverly Hills Cop.
Probably. Maybe that's what happened.
And crush
When
it.
did that movie come
Maybe
out?
he just got busy.
Yeah.
I don't know, but Indiana Jones was before this one because they referenced that one too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any movie this movie doesn't reference?
A couple, right?
Probably Rosebud.
Bad moms.
Ugh.
I mean, it will once it gets
Second
sent back to the
Bad
80s and the time loop creates
Bad
that
Moms is
moment.
Yeah.
Horrifying.
Time is a flat circle. A pretty lady for which a gremlin looks upskirt.
No, see, that was specifically a daytime.
That's a daytime scene,
right?
yeah.
Is
Like
it?
she's like outside,
Oh, I
like,
see what you're saying,
walking
sure.
across the street.
But we did have a pervy gremlin.
Yes.
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 With a flasher.
The flasher gremlin is amazing.
They're already naked.
Yeah.
They're all already naked.
Yeah, this one has more clothes than most gremlins.
Right?
It's actually like the grape leaf covering up.
Yeah.
It actually, by the introduction of clothes, brings shame.
Yeah.
I don't think he was ashamed.
Well, clearly.
Well, no, but you see what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and he had sunglasses on. So
I love how many of the Gremlins had sunglasses on.
And they all
night.
fit.
Yeah, they
Where
did.
did they get those
yeah,
sunglasses?
and all the tiny clothes.
Yeah, wait a minute. Where do you even get the trench coat from?
You guys,
they're
I have
all-
a lot of questions about
They're all
gremlins.
like 2 feet tall.
Yeah, at
right?
best.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they raided the department store's toddler section, they don't have leather jackets
No.
for children.
Yeah.
Well, okay, maybe. because it's Christmas, there was like a clearance section way in the back of like old Halloween costumes.
There we go.
And so like the trench coat is like from like a Sherlock Holmes costume.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I could have benefited from a shopping montage for those
Well, we all
costumes.
I could have watched that bar scene the whole movie.
But were
That
you
was the best
stressed
part.
out for poor Kate? Like, that seemed very stressful.
Seemed very stressful.
Yeah, and again, oh god, that bar scene was so weird. I mean, for a lot of reasons, but one, like, it was sandwiched between the gremlins doing like real damage and killing people, and then she's like mostly panicked, like she's like, I gotta work hard to serve these gremlins.
I like wasn't really stressed out for her because there wasn't ever a point that it seemed like she was trapped there until the end, until that one gremlin had a gun for some reason.
Is he gonna mug her?
Like it just, it seemed more like she was like, oh, busy night at the bar.
Like, gotta work.
Where do these customers come from?
But see, that would have worried us 9-year-old Molly Chase so much.
Right, like the bar's gonna close. Yeah.
How are they gonna keep all the
No one showed up to the shift.
Yeah.
She's probably working a double right now.
But the MVP for the movie for me was in that scene, which was Jazz Gremlin.
Oh yes.
I mean, how many more? Are there any more townspeople? Or can we just
I
decide all
got 3
wrong?
more. Well, side note, the pretty lady would be a real estate agent. Not really, but the big age lady seems to own all the property.
Yeah, she is Mr. Potter.
There would be a librarian who is not hot. No librarian at all.
No.
Nope.
A rad constable? What does that say?
What?
A
Red convertible.
Oh, I mean, there were some rad constables with the sheriff and his deputy.
There was a pink convertible that Gizmo rides to save the day with.
That's true.
Barbie.
And
Barbie car.
and his car is red.
Who is?
Ben.
Ben's.
Billy.
Yeah,
Ben.
whatever. Yeah, and then a gas station, quick stop type deal. Which there is.
Yes.
He sells the smokeless ashtray.
Okay.
Jazz Gremlin.
We've touched on it so many times. Let's get into the meat of this bar scene, right? Because, like you said, this was like post murder fest.
Yeah.
Like there's already been exploding gremlins. There's been destruction of property. There's been just literally just attacking human beings and causing them harm. Suddenly we cut to a bar full of rowdy puppets. They're all wearing costumes, all of them. And they're all different. It's not even like they all grabbed the same shirt.
Yes.
They are all wearing specific outfits that match and have themes. There is a poker game happening where Stripe suddenly has like some mole, like some gremlin like dolled itself up in makeup and a wig.
Yeah, it's like a very like gangster era poker game that's happening.
Yeah.
He's got a dame on his arm. Which references the like Cary Grant movie or whatever you're watching where
And is there a puppet? There's a puppet's hat.
Yeah. That's what Beth is talking about. Then there's like something that's like very like smooth jazz. We cut to this very like moodily lit gremlin who is literally just sitting there looking cool.
Yeah.
Wearing sunglasses.
But he's got like a deeper voice.
Yeah, and he does like this like dramatic turn to the camera. And then another gremlin just comes over with 2 little puppets. And I'm not even clear what happens next. Like, in some way, the puppet gremlin gets, like, hurt.
Stripe shoots him.
No, Stripe's shooting someone else at the poker game. This is, like, totally separate.
I think the jazz puppet gets mad.
Oh, like, hits it.
And hits it.
Oh, okay.
He's like, you're ruining my vibe.
My vibe, which is like, why is he going for the
Because the
vibe?
bar is a raucous place.
Oh, my God.
Jazz Gremlin is not in a
He's not
quiet
feeling
spot.
it.
I
He's not
think
feeling
Jazz Gremlin is like not into the rowdiness of the other gremlins.
Like, he's just, I just want to get a drink.
Yeah.
And enjoy my
like,
night.
I would not be surprised if so later in the movie all the gremlins go to a movie theater.
Yep.
I would not be surprised if Jazz Gremlin just stayed at the bar.
Oh.
Just finished a cigarette, had another drink.
And just went to bed.
Yeah, went to bed.
Then wrote an amazing saxophone riff.
Yeah.
I assume it's all Gremlins.
He has a
too,
record.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also at the bars where we have our flasher gremlin.
Yeah.
We have a gremlin smoking 3 to 4 cigarettes
Yes.
at the bar who demands they be relit.
And it's not clear how they were lit in the first place because when Kate brings the matches out, he's like terrified at the bright light.
There is the ceiling fan gremlin, which
Oh,
as soon
yeah.
as I saw it, I had so many waves of nostalgia, unpleasant nostalgia throughout this movie. But one was definitely the ceiling fan gremlin. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yes, the one that was
You mean the
on a
one that
ceiling
was
fan.
hanging onto the ceiling
Yeah.
fan?
And spinning around
She
over and over.
turns the ceiling fan up to kill it or shoot it off when
Yeah.
she leaves. It's like, I get out of here. I'll make a distraction.
She did not punt a gremlin.
Yeah, no gremlin punt.
I really thought she punted the Flasher gremlin.
Do you think Joe Dante did this bar scene as like a...
Like a
Homage to
like,
Star Wars?
Yes. Hey, George Lucas.
Oh.
I got your cantina right here.
Maybe, yeah.
And
You
just-
want rowdy puppets? For God's sake, seriously rowdy?
I got 3 cigarettes and a flash.
Everybody keeps talking about the bar full of puppets, huh? That's what America wants? Fine.
I only got a musician. You want a musician?
Joe Dante Gremlin.
If you're Joe Dante and you feel that we are either accurately or inaccurately representing your thought process in making this movie, please tweet at us. Hashtag Google it or hashtag come hang out with me. I'm Joe Dante. Or Channing Tatum, feel free.
Yes, always Channing Tatum. The
tweet
door
at
is open to tweet at us. Oh, I love Joe Dante.
Oh, that bar scene. Yeah, but like as we explained to Beth, like that bar scene is basically stretched out to 90-some minutes, and that is Gremlins 2, the new batch.
Yeah, add some science.
And science.
And like 90s business.
Yes.
Instead of 80s business.
Right.
Oh,
Or at least late
it's
80s
a 90s
business.
movie.
Yeah, I think so.
It's like
It was like late 80s, like 89 or something.
Really?
it's probably like it's going over the hump.
Right,
and
right,
Joe
right.
Dante was like, I can feel a culture shift coming. Let's get
Skyscraper.
these puppets in a modern skyscraper.
Give me Hulk Hogan.
Give me Hogan.
Hogan and Gremlins
Hogan's
too?
going to sue for briefly. Yeah.
I
Snap.
know that because of Key and Peele.
Oh,
My
yeah.
God. I have to watch that.
You do.
I'm
We
very
all
excited
should.
about
I
it
actually would
now.
love to watch the movie again.
Yeah. It's worth it.
Does the song come back?
Of course.
I hope so. That theme is legit great.
That theme is amazing.
Is it?
Yes.
Like as a theme song?
Yes.
It's very catchy.
Yeah,
It is.
exactly.
I think that's
So
what a
catchy
theme song
they
does.
know their own themes.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
There is a moment where there are gremlin carolers.
One of them's wearing a leather hat.
Yes.
And again, they all have perfect costumes.
Yes.
They're
And
ready
sheet
to get
music.
their sheet music.
And they are singing their own theme song, and it's magical.
Yeah.
Is it like dee 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 dee?
Are you trying to sing the song?
Yeah,
again?
how does it go?
Yeah. Can we jump back to early in the movie for a moment?
Sure.
Can we talk about Mr. Hansen, who is a very classic 80s high school teacher who is like surprisingly effective at any form of science? Like he is not thrown off at all by this like weird cat human. And he's just like, sure, just give me one.
Yeah, I don't get how anyone is thrown off by a mogwai. Like,
Yeah,
it's
nobody.
an insane creature
Yeah.
that looks like no other animal.
And
But
they're
we're
all
all
cool
fine
with
with
it.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you point out especially in like the Feldman scene where it's like these kids just he doesn't even care.
Yeah.
Like he's like, hey Billy, can I have one? I don't think so. Okay, and he just goes and, like reads a
Oh,
comic
you got
book.
a comic book? Great. Anyway, I'm gonna ruin everything later.
Yeah, but I just love that like that is how the 80s worked, where it's just like something strange is going on. I'm going to go talk to my high school biology teacher.
Yeah.
He'll have all the answers.
Isn't there another? I'm thinking of another science teacher.
Stranger Things.
Maybe. Yes, but also there's one that's like played by one of the dudes from ER. Is this ringing a bell at all?
From what movie?
George Clooney.
No, one of the nerdy ones.
Oh, Anthony whatever.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, who played Goose in Top Gun?
No.
What?
Anthony something.
What are you talking? What?
Wait, that's
I don't know.
happening.
I'm just thinking of another science teacher.
All right.
Tweet us. Hashtag what would them science teach?
Specifically the ER one then?
Yeah, any of them.
ER.
Teach. Ah.
Real high five. Real high five. Real high five.
Anyway, use that hashtag to just tweet out science teachers that know a lot in movies.
I love it.
And maybe one of them will be the one I'm thinking of.
But
If it is, quote retweet, thumbs up.
Yep.
so yeah, there's a bunch of projector stuff too, right?
Yeah.
So in science class, there's a whole heartbeat.
Which I actually want to watch
thing.
that film. Like it seemed fascinating. It was just like, oh, let's talk about the size of all these animals'
I
hearts.
for real learned that smaller animals lose heat faster, so their hearts have to beat more
Yeah.
to keep up with that heat loss.
And elephants'
Oh.
hearts only beat however many times. a minute.
72 times. No, that was humans.
Mine
Oh.
is 25.
25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm in it.
I feel like I read about that in A Wrinkle in Time, right? Where they
Ooh,
go
I don't know.
inside the body.
What?
And their sense of time changes.
Whose body do they go inside?
Her little brother's, because he's
Wrinkle
sick.
in Time?
Is it Wrinkle in Time, or it might be a different one?
Magic School Bus?
No.
I was like, are you talking about Arnold?
No.
Because they definitely go to Arnold.
Wait, Arnold the Iguana?
No.
Wait, was that the iguana's name? Lizzie's the
Lizzie.
iguana.
Lizzie the Iguana.
Never mind. Anyway, they go into the body and
They
they
do?
realize how, like, the heartbeat from inside the body, the heartbeat's only, like, every 9 years in human time.
Whoa.
Because her little brother's sick and they have to go in, but it's not Wrinkle in Time. It's in that series, though.
Oh, I only read the first one.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh.
I would reread it.
Okay.
Anyway,
I'm going to read
tweet
those
at
books.
us.
Or tweet at us.
Tweet at us. Summary. This is a summary of a book.
Yeah. Channing Tatum, if you would like to summarize Madeline Langell's whatever the series is called in tweet form,
Yeah,
please,
Oh,
you will
do
get...
it in emojis for us.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Or
You'll get a
tweet
what?
storm.
What do you get, Dan, if Channing Tatum does anything?
Quote, retweet, thumbs up.
Yeah.
That's, if anything's great. Did you have any more about the science teacher? He's also the token black man in
Yes.
the movie and dies first.
Yes. We knew he was doomed as soon as he was on camera.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as I said, oh, I'll talk to Mr. Hansen, we're like, oh, of course, science teacher. But as soon as we saw the color of his skin, he was like, ooh, poor Mr. Hansen.
Yeah.
1980.
1980.
Ugh, it's hard to take. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. And that opening scene in Chinatown, again, had such, like, such thick white privilege.
Oh, it was so just like, I'm walking around in my trench coat with all these exotic, strange people.
I don't have to listen to anyone. Oh,
Yeah.
it was, I
There
can
were
buy anything.
2 nuns in a rickshaw that was
Confusing?
just unexplainable, and I loved it.
It was. I do want to try to figure out why that happened.
Let's do it.
Because so they're trying to set the scene,
Yep.
right? And they're like, what like reads as Chinatown? It's like 10 seconds of scenery here to like really like establish the location.
Hey, lots of red light.
And they're like, well, rickshaw,
Yep.
Yep.
right?
Yep.
That seems like something that they would have. Well, who should be sitting in the rickshaw? We got these nun costumes back.
Maybe
Are they
were-
tiny? Can we put it on a gremlin?
Yeah, right.
Maybe
No,
they
they're
were-
human size. Okay.
All
Do you
right.
think they were worried they were going to lose an American audience if it was like too much Chinese stuff at the top?
They're like, let's just throw Catholicism
Yeah,
in there.
it'll bring everybody back in.
Maybe it was...
Oh, it's a Christmas movie.
Oh.
But I wonder if it wasn't, though, honestly, some homage to some other
Oh,
film.
maybe, yeah.
You know, maybe it was something from Chinatown or
Yeah.
something. I don't remember 2 nuns in a rickshaw, but it
Right.
seems very, like, it sounds like an improv career.
Yeah, it does.
Like, really
It really
unfortunate
does.
one.
Hey, we're 2 nuns in a rickshaw. What? I heard toast.
Hey, Mom, go make me a sandwich.
Oh, I'm not your mom. I'm a stripper. Hey. Maybe.
Clap.
Oh, clap at it. Yeah. Maybe what it was like Joe Dante's looking at the scene and he's just like, cut. Guys, it looks like the dad's in real China. We gotta make it clear he's just in some Chinese part of a city. Throw some non-China people in there. I hope
That's
right?
what happened. That's what
Yeah.
happened.
It's like, what is the least Chinese thing we have ready access to?
Nuns.
Nuns.
Yeah, it's crazy. I want to talk about... Oh, first off, we bet that Gremlins love snacks. Yeah.
Love snacks.
Love snacks.
Love snacks.
Just a giant plate of chicken.
That's like-
just sitting in your fridge.
Yep.
That's the Mogwai.
Yeah.
Chicken.
I know, but like, why? Okay, how angry would you be if you slaved over?
Oh, like the mom?
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that fried chicken is not easy to make. It takes
Right.
a lot of time, and you have a giant plate that you've finally provided to your family,
Right.
and your son just shrugs
Me.
and like throws it to some animals.
Yeah, I'll just give it to my box of cat people.
Yeah, at some point, like within a few years, this mom is going to like realize like it's on her
Oh, man.
to change the way that things are going.
Oh, yeah.
And she's going
She's
to, I don't know,
read
go back
the
to school,
feminine mystique, and it's over.
get a business job,
Yeah.
and go be a business lady.
Oh, she'll be Mr. Mom.
What?
Was it Mr. Mom?
A man?
Michael Keaton?
Oh,
What are you thinking of?
She'll be
I'm thinking of
she'll
that general idea.
Mrs. Mom.
Mrs. Mom.
Mom. She'll be Mrs. Mom.
Yeah. Is that the other half of that? I haven't seen that movie.
I'm trying to remember
Michael Keaton is Mrs. Mom.
Mr. Mom.
Whatever.
Because aren't his parents in the second one? I'm trying to remember what their deal is. Maybe they just show up for like one scene.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're probably retirees.
Oh, probably.
I bet, you know what I bet it is? I bet one of his inventions worked.
Right, now they're like
now he's
super
like a millionaire,
rich
yeah.
or something. Yeah, who knows?
Because, of course, he solves the problem, the man. I want to talk about the Gremlin rules.
Yep.
Because they don't make any sense.
Nope.
It's don't get them wet.
Correct.
And don't give them any water.
Yeah, he specifically said don't even give them water to drink.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Don't feed them after midnight, and sunlight kills them.
Yeah.
I'm sort of like I'm on board with sunlight because vampires, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
But then the other two, don't get them wet. Yet they're like sloshing beer over each other's faces.
Right.
Like, are we to believe it's like
pure water? Only pure water.
Yeah.
I thought it's just don't give them water.
Yeah.
But like water gets on their skin, and they.
Right.
But like, why weren't all the Gremlins popping new Gremlins in the bar?
Yes. I also agree. But the rule is water. It's not wet.
Well, the dad clarified it as water. The kid was just like, don't get them wet.
But like, how much? Like, there's a lot of water in beer. Like, at what point?
Right. Or like the snow. You pointed out there was snow
They
everywhere.
walk through snow. Like, snow is maybe worse than
Yes.
the beer because like they'll step on it. If they have any body heat, they'll melt it. And then
How
their
fast
foot
do
gets
their
wet.
hearts
layer.
beat?
Right. I guess they might be cold-blooded reptiles.
Yeah.
Oh, so as long as it's cold water, it won't affect them?
Well, if they're cold, they're not
Melt.
going to melt the snow.
You
anyway,
guys, it's just a lot to think about.
It's tough. It's like why ghosts don't
But
fall
it's
to the
not
ground.
as tough as the after midnight.
The after midnight
That's
is the one
insane.
that really gets me because where
Yeah. Midnight where?
and why does that number matter to a magic creature? I don't know. It should be.
I
It should
feel
be
like
sundown.
Beth
but then
brought up the great question of when does that moratorium end? When do
Right.
you feed them breakfast?
Right.
Yeah,
How do we know? You only know after midnight.
it should really be sundown to sun up.
Yeah.
That would make more sense.
Or it should be midnight in like a certain village in China, and that's why it's so hard to maintain because no one else knows. Like,
no
I don't
internet,
know.
you
Well,
can't
I got to do the conversion.
Can't do Google what time.
No,
China.
not
I was
1984.
thinking maybe it was like if they eat and then are exposed. No, because it'll be dark. Doesn't make any sense. I was thinking maybe they have some sort of
What if they eat
chlorophyll type
11:58, but they haven't finished digesting their food.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I mean, is there a
lot of
grace
questions.
period?
I don't know.
We don't know.
It's not fleshed
but when
out.
can you possibly feed them again?
Yeah. I don't know. Noon? Is it a 12
I mean, is
hour?
that a 12-hour thing?
I don't know.
How fast did that digest?
I don't know.
I mean, that science teacher took a blood sample and apparently learned nothing.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know if he got a chance to do anything, right?
It was maybe still in the centra.
He was very irresponsible as a high school science teacher. Like, I brought this up during the watching of the film. Like, I get that, like, I accept that he's an 80s science teacher, so he knows how to do science. Whatever, that's fine. But the fact that he was so irresponsible about it was just like, I'm just going to leave this box of a weird organism that has now entered into a gross cocoon. I'm just going to leave it on my desk in this room full of children.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen.
The heart.
I
Yeah.
know he's metamorphosizing. I don't know into what. Turns out it's a terrifying bat monster with claws.
Yeah. That he
Tries to give a
So
candy bar
tries to
to...
get
Poorly.
and just like shoves
No
his whole
strategy.
arm under
Yeah.
there.
No strategy.
And then again, the Gremlins display that they're both murderers and mischievous,
Yes.
where like kills that guy, but then like puts the syringe in his butt.
Yeah. Which is a
is like,
surprisingly
yeah.
well lit
Yeah,
syringe.
gotcha. You're dead. Also, you got something in your butt.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird how I love how the Gremlins are like in some ways really dumb, but in other ways they, know how to like manipulate
Stick it to the man.
Well, they know how to like manipulate all electronics to do what they want.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You know what I
the
mean?
one
Like-
was like hot wiring the stoplights.
Yeah,
they
or like I'll
hotwired all kinds of
supercharge this chair to launch this woman out of her
I'm
house.
Tim the Tool Man.
Yeah.
Taylor.
Yeah, I watched a lot of that show. Oh, man.
You guys, I wrote down Kafka's Metamorphosis.
Go
Oh,
on.
please.
I guess I was thinking it's sort of a teenager's room, and maybe there's a metaphor in it. The teenagers are mischievous and awkward and get boils on their skin.
So like the Gremlins are like the teenage phase
Yes.
of the Mogwai?
Yes.
So if they, do you think jazzed Gremlin then was like an old soul and was just like waiting for like the third stage, which apparently is just like a chill out phase where you finally are cool with things and you just want to relax?
Yeah, maybe.
I do want to go back and explore the idea more of this being a representation of the economy at the time.
Yes, please.
And how maybe Mogwais represent the pure idea of capitalism, but then they're somehow, they're made ugly and disgusting and destructive through, I don't know, water.
Well, through America, though.
Well, through not respecting rules.
The rules, yes, through disrespect to the rules.
And, nature. Because that was, ancient Chinese guy's whole thing at the end, where he was just like, your country, basically. He essentially said in some words, your country is not ready for, the beautiful nature of the Mogwai.
Yeah, as you do with everything, you ruin it.
Yeah.
Just like you took this system that works in theory.
Yes. This perfectly sensible set of rules.
Yeah. And yet you've disregarded the rules and like Miss Deagle, have started to crush everybody.
Yes.
With your evil ways. And now you're Gremlins. Now the economy is Gremlins.
Well, the economy is Gremlins.
Yeah. Oh. I don't know.
So you're saying basically, if we expand this metaphor, it is that America, we're all Judge Reinhold.
Yeah.
Right? And thus created what was once a beautiful, from sea to shining sea, paradise of freedom, and twisted it into a gluttonous, perverse, violent monster.
Yeah.
That is killed by sunlight.
Right.
Because the light of day,
the light of knowledge will shine upon us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's probably what they were going for.
I'm thinking Kafka's Metamorphosis.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely something deep. For sure.
I like that.
I did note that this movie was pre the War on Christmas. The idea of the War on Christmas. And yet it still said Happy Holiday on one of the signs. I don't know. Maybe the Gremlins also represent the War on Christmas.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
I don't know how to do that one.
That one on the track?
Yeah.
That reminds me of that great line by Jenny Cade. When she first explains to Billy that she's not into Christmas, she says, oh, you say you hate Thanksgiving or Washington's birthday, and nobody cares.
Yeah, I feel like one more past the script on that, they could have gotten something better.
Washington's
July 4th,
birthday.
Even if you want to do it like a patriotic holiday.
Right.
Yeah. Specifically Washington's birthday.
Yeah, not even
President's Day.
I mean...
Washington's birthday.
Yeah.
Who cares enough about Washington's birthday to have feelings
here's my
about
theory.
Okay.
I have a theory that something horrible happened to her on Washington's birthday. So she has experience with this.
I don't think we ever see her mom.
No, she went to school one day and her teacher was like, it's George Washington's birthday.
Yeah.
And they learned about George Washington.
Yeah.
And she drew a picture of George Washington in school. And then she got home, got to the door to give the drawing that she made at school to her mom.
Sure.
And her mom was missing. And she didn't know where she went for 5 days. And then she went to start a fire.
This is so dark.
No, keep going.
And there was a weird smell.
Yep.
And she called the police. And when it turned, her mom had dressed as George. Had all her George Washington presents.
Yeah.
And that's how she learned George Washington wasn't real.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, for sure.
I did actually, to be fair, throughout that whole movie until she told that story, I did just assume, both her parents died. Because I didn't remember the full story. I just knew she told a dark story where her parents died. I just assumed they were both dead.
Yeah. That might be her mom's bar.
Oh, right.
There's
there
an implication that she's
yeah.
working there as a favor.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a family bar, but it's not very explicit.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty straightforward that she was clearly working there as a family bar.
Oh, but I don't know who you think that's her mom's bar?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, you think she could have called Mom, Mom, there are so many patrons here tonight. Please come help.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
smoking
she was there by
multiple
herself.
cigarettes.
She never seems there's no moment where she's like, hey, I gotta go. We gotta see if my mom's okay. Or she's got apparently no one in town other than Ben.
That's because she's a female character.
Yeah.
Right. Why flesh them out?
Why flesh them out? They already had a conversation. So you get it.
Joe, shouldn't we give her parents something? The lady talked to the other lady at the beginning.
Yeah.
We're fine.
We'll throw one more speech in so the dog can do some cool stuff. Oh, Gizmo did in that one. The dog's not even in that scene.
No, the dog did do some great, again, reaction moments when Gizmo's driving around that little car.
Yeah.
Where Gizmo's like kept weaving through the dog's legs and he kept hopping around.
Yeah.
Love that dog.
Well, and that poor dog was surprised by some of that. That was real.
That was real.
Yeah.
The dog is just waiting there, waiting for its direction, and all of a sudden a puppet drives by.
Speaking of real surprises, Dan, you put out the theory that they actually shot that actor with a baseball in a sporting goods store.
He either really got shot or upped his game big time on acting like he got hit with a baseball in the back. Because, like, just the move of, like, that hurt a lot, but not, like, wasn't, like, insanely painful. Like, it was the perfect level of, like...
reaction.
That's what happens when you get hit in the back with a baseball pretty hard.
Yeah.
I don't know. It really did it for me.
And I feel like it's suggestive that he actually got hit pretty hard with the ball based on his reaction, because later he gets shot with a crossbow, and his reaction to that wound is back to, like, just bland Billy the actor.
That crossbow is placed exactly where if you were just to tuck an arrow underneath your arm, like you would in a high school production.
Yeah.
I assume that's just what they did.
Oh, like they just went like they turned the camera off,
and
put an
like,
arrow between his arm, and turned it back on.
Look, hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zach, you got hit with an arrow. Make us believe it. Don't make me throw another baseball at you.
A dog could do a better job of selling this.
The dog could.
That dog could. That dog was
For sure MVP of the movie.
one of the best actors in the movie.
Oh,
Its
no,
name
the
was
dog
Mushroom.
is probably dead.
What? The dog's name is Mushroom?
Yeah.
Oh.
Molly, you know a lot of dogs in movies are dead now, right?
No, shut up.
I think all dogs in movies are dead by
Yes.
now.
All dogs go to heaven.
That's true.
Yeah. They actually kill the dog after the movie. It's part of the contract.
Yeah.
Because they don't want the dog to get confused. Because they're like, oh, this dog will be traumatized the rest of his life because it'll be called two different names.
Stop it.
Like Mushroom
Stop
would
it,
walk
you
around.
monster. Stop.
For the listeners, Molly is like crawling into her own shirt right now. Because I won't stop talking.
Oh.
Before we get to our final rating of the movie, we'd like to read a 5-star review on iTunes of our podcast, or Max rating somewhere else. Let us know. We don't check anywhere but iTunes. But too bad we don't have any. So could have had more Joe Dante.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
No, we
Oh, no, wait, I found a review. Hey, Totes Recall. Good job.
Oh, that's good.
Hanging at least. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Anonymous.
Thank you, user of computer.
Yeah. So how about iTunes? Leave us a 5-star review. We'll read your review in the impression from the movie or something else.
Yeah, maybe Joe Dante.
Maybe Joe Dante.
Maybe Joe Dante should be like our go-to.
Request Joe Dante.
You can absolutely request Joe Dante.
And please tag him in your request.
Yes.
Oh, no.
And please,
We'll feel weird
please
about it.
never link us to footage of him talking because it'll probably ruin this. Because I'm sure he sounds nothing
Probably like a
this.
soft-spoken British
Probably.
man.
Hi,
Yeah.
I'm Joe Dante.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so the dog's gonna jump when the car goes by.
Okay,
And-
Mushroom.
Okay,
Mushroom.
Mushroom. All right,
Are
Mushroom.
you ready to jump?
Okay, Mushroom.
You're a good boy,
All right,
Mushroom.
good. Here's a treat, Mush.
Okay.
Okay. Action.
Can we put...
All right, I'm Joe Dante.
Oh, I'm Joe Dante.
I'm going to direct this film. All right, Mushroom, jump into the car. Good job.
Oh, it's me, Joe Dante. Let's go down to Bill's Beach.
Let's put the gremlin in a trench coat.
He'll be a flesher.
He'll be a pav.
He'll be a pervy
This gremlin
flesher.
will be a pav.
We'll see his dingly dong.
Kev.
Hey, Spielberg.
How many cigarettes? How many cigarettes can we put in the puppet, Smith?
3-4 cigarettes. Me, Joe Dante. So anyway, you're missing out on that.
Yeah, yep. Any of those versions of Joe Dante could have read your review.
Dan, you gave it 4 gremlin boils. And assumed it would be a weird 80s movie.
Yep. It was. 4 gremlin boils.
Yep, great. Beth, you gave it 2. I think it would be somewhat entertaining, but you would mostly dislike it.
Yep. 2 gremlin boils.
Me, Dan, I gave it 4 gremlin boils. I thought it would be a fun Christmas romp. am tempted to continue just saying yep, but for honesty's sake, I think I will say 3.5. I lost a half point for me being legitimately concerned about the Mogwais, thinking of them as cat babies.
Oh, right.
I do want to give one gremlin boil to Gizmo for being so cute.
Okay.
It's like a tiny furry baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I give 10 gremlin boils to the bar scene.
Yes, absolutely.
Saying.
Absolutely.
I mean, we all would.
Yeah. Molly, you gave it 1 and would drop it to 0 if any animal was harmed. And I don't, if you discount gremlins,
Or puppets of any kind.
I mean, no Mogwai was harmed. I mean, he's up against the
He's,
dark
like,
dwarf,
traumatized.
but he's traumatized.
Yeah.
Emotionally
and the
harmed.
dog gets tied up in a bunch of Christmas
yeah.
lights.
Which they never really, like, it's implied that it's the
It's
evil
totally the
Mogwais,
Mogwais, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Okay.
is.
There's no chance it's the
Deagle?
No, that's
Okay.
not her style. She would just kill the dog.
She's got a weak heart. How's she going to lift up that dog and put it in
and
the
why
light?
would, that's very inefficient.
We didn't really talk about how blatantly she threatens to kill the
that
dog
dog.
in a
Straight
terrible
up.
way.
Yeah.
Like, she's the
Yeah.
worst.
At one point, she said she's going to throw it in a dryer on the high side.
Yeah, and the guy next to her is like, yep, that'd do it. That would kill that dog. She's like, what are you?
Who are you, man?
Who are you?
He probably owns that guy's house.
Oh.
She
Yeah.
probably owns that guy's house. Anyway, Molly, 1 or 0, I guess are your choices.
Well, I'm gonna keep it at 1. However, I want to
charitable.
say it had its ups and downs, so it averaged 1, if that makes sense. Like it wasn't an even 1. If I were basing it on how much I enjoyed watching it with y'all, I would give it at least a 3.
Okay.
I had an okay time.
That feels more like a rating of us than the movie.
Yeah,
I mean, are you surprised?
no.
Really?
No, but I mean that's counteracting a lot of suspense about animal cruelty.
Yep.
A lot of like really disgusting stuff.
Yep.
A flasher.
A genderless
very
flasher.
stressful situations that were out of control.
Yes.
And many, many very frightening and horrific flashbacks to the first time I saw it. And it was, in fact, really traumatizing for me. And rewatching it, I was like, oh, it really was. Like, it was not just, I don't know. If you go back and watch The Wizard of Oz and you see the flying monkeys, you remember how freaky they are.
Yeah.
You don't think about it. But this, to me, justified my concern and fear about having seen it at such a young age. But also, I think it helped me to put it to bed,
Oh, good.
so to speak, in terms of that looming feeling. So, okay, we'll give it 2.
Oh.
There you go.
All right.
Wow.
Thank you for listening to Totes Recall. New episodes drop on the 15th of every month. You can find us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Totes Recall Pod. Subscribe on iTunes and leave a review. It helps more people find the show. Totes Recall is hosted by Molly Chase, Beth Gibbs, Dan Jaquette, and Dan Linden. Produced by Beth Gibbs. For more information, check out noisepicnic.com/totesrecall.